I look at the whole tech stack, right? And originally Flare, first of all, it had as a consensus layer, which is the layer that arrives at uh, transaction finality and precludes double spends. This is the basic core tenets of blockchain. I had at its layer Avalanche, which is a gossip type network, which is really fast in performance. It allows for things like subnets. It has a lot of. It's very powerful, and there's a reason Avalanche is in the top 20 for market cap. So right there, as a consensus layer, it had the kind of performance that a next generation platform would require. On top of that, though, they put the FTSO, and the FTSO is so powerful as a Oracle concept that I don't think the market has really caught up because you see a lot of Chainlink adoption, and Chainlink's been around for a long time, and Pyth, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
Oracle providers, but they really have some inherent flaws about how they arrive at price consensus and how they could theoretically be manipulated. And I'm not trying to fund those projects. I'm just saying that the architecture when they were created is very different than what FTSO offers now. So right there, we thought, okay, the FTSO is a huge differentiator. It's a highly performant network. It was very aligned with the XRP community. I mean, the original distribution mechanism for Flare was XRP holders. They were given a certain quantity and proportion to their XRP holdings on the day of a snapshot. So right there, they had a kind of bootstrapping mechanism for community that other networks didn't have, right? Because other networks usually have to bootstrap their networks by venture capital seeding. There's a lot of insiders, there's a lot of pump and dump. And so the distribution mechanisms for the token tend to be very skewed. It can be problematic. Whereas Flare is saying, okay, look, hey, you're existing XRP member. You've already gone through all these distribution pains. We're going to bootstrap on top of that and bootstrap a community on top of that. We thought that was excellent. And then the whole vision that they had about bringing in other networks to operate essentially in an interoperable way on the Flare network. That was it. That was the closer, because from there, bringing in things like Bitcoin and Doge and XRP and all these networks that didn't have smart contracts, that's huge, because now all of a sudden you can be a conduit for a lot of that liquidity. You can write very interesting business logic and smart contract logic. It's very extensible. So it really has kind of all the right elements. And I think this next move into TEs and the FDC and F assets is going to be a huge, huge set or suite of improvements that, again, it's about building these bridges to connect to all these other networks so we have a really interoperable framework. And then when you zoom